If you bored, then stop complaining. Tap into Slightlee daily. Pods and blogs and playlists. Everyday entertainment. Slightly to the daily. Slight to the lead to the. If you bored, then stop complaining. Tap into Slightlee daily. Pods and blogs and playlists. Everyday entertainment. Slightly to the daily. Slight to the lead to the daily.
You're now listening to episode 71 of the Slightlee Daily Podcast. Welcome back. Slight Lee Daily, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Just came off of the most viewed podcast I've had so far. Shout out to Young Soul and Cam Curry for coming on. I got 250 views on that episode. It's the most I've ever gotten. That was a really special one for me because I've been trying to get that one for so long. I'm a big fan of these guys too. So, hold on. So, I have my little brother in here, Kobe, for the first time. If this person right here, he knows me probably more than anyone else in this world or ever will. Kobe, can you please just introduce yourself? What are you up to today? Your title, student, you know.
I'm Kobe Timberlake. I'm brother of Slightlee, or Austin, I call him. I'm a student at MTSU, and I work for ESP. I'm an assistant site director at Salem Elementary School.
Yep. Gonna be a teacher / coach one day, hopefully. Kobe, so, I mean, shit. For the real, hardcore listeners of the show, the real hardcore listeners who have listened to a lot of this, I've obviously talked about you a lot, just because you just be like, oh, yeah, I got a brother, and they'd be like, oh, that's my brother does this, or, we know, me and my brother used to play baseball, and that type of stuff. So, let's, also, I'm sure if you've listened to some of the episodes, too, I always try and tell people this before, off camera, too, but just for the people out there who this might be their first episode, I want to reiterate this too. I don't want this to feel like an interview. This is really it might have some kind of elements of an interview. You know what I'm saying? But ultimately, what this is two brothers sitting down in the living room.
Yes,
you know, or whenever it's the other episodes, it's two people, two friends, maybe not even friends, because I have some people on here that this is the first time we interacted. Two people kind of meeting each other on camera.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, reason why I say that is I might, to start this thing out, the first kind of chapter, the first step, I might start it out with some interview type elements and questions, but ultimately I don't want it to just be okay, Kobe, so tell me your top 5 favorite fruit snacks, and then I just sit there in silence, no, I'm gonna be a part of this conversation. So anyway, student, which I'm very proud of you for doing that. You're going to get it done.
Eventually.
I want to say this too. Shit. Even though you're my little brother, and I've said this 1,000 times, even though Kobe's my little brother, I look up to you so much.
Appreciate
You're the coolest person I know. Seriously.
Thank you.
So, as far as, which as I said before, we know everything about each other, but can you just kind of speak aloud about kind of what you did as a child, what you were into as a kid? I mean, sports played a big role in our life.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
That definitely was a big part. I mean, as far as I can remember, it was always school, baseball, family.
Yeah.
But I just remember, with the family part, with our cousins, Ty, Braxton, they were just I was always the in-between.
Yeah, true.
You and Braxton. Yeah, so I, growing up, was really, when I wasn't doing baseball, school, or with the family, it was always video games.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was really into video games. Still kind of am. Yeah. I don't do it as much as I used to, for sure. But that's definitely, I definitely grew up with video games, baseball, basketball.
So if you had to pick, what was your favorite sport to play? What was it for you?
I just remember growing up, I really liked basketball, but the older I got, it was definitely baseball.
Yeah.
Because, high school, middle school, high school.
Yeah. Man, for me, personally, my favorite sport to play was basketball.
I loved watching. You were so good.
I had a couple years where I was really good, and then I don't know. I just didn't make the middle school team
Mm.
one time, and then I just gave it up and just picked up
I
baseball.
just remember, yeah, you shot up. You're probably my
Yeah.
height in like 6th grade.
I was taller than everybody at one point. I remember being.
except for Jalen.
Well, yeah, but I was really. Yeah, you're right. I was thinking about the Boys and Girls Club days though, because like, let's see, 11, 12, and 13. Like my last 3 years, I was like, my last year I was like 5'9", 5'10", It's just about. I'm almost 6 foot now, which, you know what I'm saying. When I was 13, I was already 5'9",
taller than everybody.
5'10", yeah, and I was taller than everybody. And plus, it was the Boys and Girls Club too. It was a fucking rec ball.
Man, the thing I remember about that is, I just remember Papa was our coach, so
Yeah,
I was
our
always
grandfather.
like, yeah. I remember, I was like, man, like the older I got, I was like, I would see baseball. He was never my baseball coach until like my last year with rec ball.
Yeah.
But I was just like, look at other coaches and their dads would be it. And I was like, man, I don't want to be like that. So I remember at the Boys and Girls Club when he was my coach, I would remember I wouldn't play a certain way because I didn't want to look like the coach's son. So like I remember I would pass the ball more, or I just wouldn't shoot this, that, yada yada.
Okay, so outside of sports being obviously playing a huge role on honestly just our everyday life, any athlete can attest to that. I had she goes by Frico, but her name's Joy. She used to run track at Riverdale. Won 2 state tournaments, really good, and then went and ran track at UAB. And I had her on here, and we were just talking about. I mean, she raps and stuff now, and she's really good. But like talking about just the athlete mentality and mindset,
it never leaves you.
It never leaves you
everywhere,
and it prepares you for life, work, your regular job, school, even like carrying on in school too. Like she was just talking about how, because like she was an elite athlete, collegiate athlete. State champion in high school, like, and she was talking about how like she'll relate that kind of work ethic she was doing when she was training for track, you know, not taking practice seriously and stuff, as the same as like going in the studio. So anyway, video games. Also guys, if anybody knows my video game journey, Kobe does too, because he was right there with me. So Game Boys, PlayStation, we had a PS2.
I remember Braxton had that GameCube. We would always play with
GameCube. We did have a GameCube. Man, what was your? So you know I was obsessed with Pokemon, but did you play it much?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I remember I had the original DS, like the flip DS.
Right.
And I played.
What was on there? Diamond?
It's like, yeah, I played Diamond and then on the bottom you could play, I played like Sapphire, but I played it so much the top screen stopped working.
I remember I have a Game Boy now, a Game Boy Advance SP now that like I just stumbled upon and I just have it. And I have like a charger and like a selection. I think I have like 10 or 15 games that like I've gotten from people. And I have Leaf Green. That's the only one I have. I've been since I've been like getting kind of back into the Pokemon stuff, doing the card breaks. Yeah. I'm trying not to go and buy a vintage Fire Red or something like that.
I know Game Trader, the one by Walmart.
I know they have it, but it's like $80.
Really?
Yeah, literally, Kobe.
Oh,
literally, like it's like in the like at the.
It's like in a box or whatever.
Yeah, in the counter. Yeah, they'll have like Fire Red and it'll be like $69.99. Like, I'm so pissed that like I don't know what happened to them, but they're gone now. I remember I had Fire Red, I had Platinum, which had was Lapras on it or something like that, Lugia.
Yeah, that one.
But so Game Boy. PlayStation. What did we play on PlayStation? Madden,
GTA.
I remember which one was it? We had GTA 3.
Vice City? I just remember that was the first game I remember playing on the PlayStation 2.
3. Before Vice City. I think so.
It was the one where the person didn't talk.
I think that was GTA 3. We had that. We played hella Madden, NCAA. Shit. That was really kind of it. As far as the PlayStation, like the console went.
I remember as we got older, it was like Call of Duties.
Sort of, but for me,
Mm-hmm.
I honestly,
Guitar Hero 3.
Guitar Hero 3.
I mean, even Haley would play it with us.
Yeah, I remember that. Guitar Hero 3 was the GOAT. And then we got with the PS3 when I was in like middle school, maybe.
I think I was in middle school.
You were in middle school?
Mm-hmm. It was like when
So I
Black
was
Ops
in
2 came out or whatever.
Black Ops 2. Yeah. That's right. So like 2011 maybe, 2012. Damn. So what are some memories you have of playing video games that really made you feel like you were like, man, like this is fun? Like what were some of the first games that you can think of that you were like, wow, like this is amazing?
I stumbled upon a picture with Mom. It was a picture of me, Christmas Day. I'm sitting there looking up on the the little red cabinet Papa made. I still have it in my like closet.
Yeah.
It had the little box TV on it.
Yeah.
I was playing this jet ski game, and I don't even know
jet
what
ski or snowboarding.
it was.
Was it
Jet ski. We
snowboarding?
had that one, but jet ski.
What?
I just remember playing that one.
I don't remember that.
I'd get home, I would play it. Like I don't even know what it was.
It was just races, right?
Yeah, it was just jet skis.
can't
I'd never in my
remember.
life been on a jet ski.
Like the Sea-Doo?
Yeah,
I don't
thing.
remember. I personally don't even remember playing that game or what the fuck it could even have been called. That's funny. Was that on the PlayStation 2?
Yeah.
PS2? Damn. The most significant game for me of all time, the game that will always just have the most influence on my life is all the Pokemons for me. I was obsessed with Pokemon. Like, I remember
we had the Harry Potter games.
Harry Potter.
Grandma
I
was
think
really
we
into the
had
books.
Chamber of Secrets.
We had the first two on the PlayStation. Then we had Prisoner of Azkaban on like the Game Boy Advance.
Dang. I bet it was trash.
Oh, it's
Low
so
key.
bad.
Hey, but what do you think about that the new Harry Potter game?
Oh, yeah, is the one I sent you that one day?
Yeah, the
Oh,
trailer.
man, I really love those open world games where you can just do whatever.
Are you gonna try and responsibly buy the new console?
Yeah,
Eventually.
I don't know.
I mean,
I would love to get it when it's like new.
I do too, but personally,
We never got stuff like brand new.
no, that's what
Like, we got it. We got our PlayStation 2 for like Easter one year.
Yeah. Oh shoot, man, I completely yes, exactly. My God, I forgot about that. But as far as the new console, first of all, even if you wanted to pre-order it, all the pre-orders
Yeah,
are
they're
sold out. They're already gone.
Mhm.
So even if you wanted to, you couldn't. Like, you're not gonna get it on release day, November. So, but anyway, if I do get one, it's not gonna be till next year. Facts. Like,
Yeah, I feel like even if I would get it, like there's gonna be like maybe like one person I know that has it, so it'd be like, why would I get something
Yeah.
that I'm not gonna use with anybody?
well, is it gonna be cross platform?
I don't even know. I haven't even looked at any of this stuff.
I mean, I've done some research. I've wrote a couple articles about it and stuff, but yeah. Shit. Completely forgot. Let me go ahead and give you a couple stickers. I know I've given you some before, but hey guys, I still have so many of these stickers from months and months and months ago. If you would like some stickers, please let me know. I've given him one before. He carries it in his phone. That was the first batch I had, but yeah, these are just the logo. We're actually, without saying too much, me and my friend Nathan and Ty, we're working on some merch.
Hey.
So, we don't have a whole lot. We haven't got anything printed out yet, but we've had a couple like group FaceTimes where I was like, all right, boys, like let's try and do this thing. So, but what I was saying is I'm gonna have like a new logo soon. Like, you know how Nike has the swoosh and like
Adidas has the checks. Or
yeah,
it's called.
yeah, and like Gatorade has that G with the lightning bolt, like something like that. Like, this is like I made that, by the way, like that logo, but yeah. So make sure those get into some good spots.
Sure.
Yeah. But what I was saying about the console thing, next year, I'm not gonna get it until at least next year because pre-orders are sold out. Also, you don't even know I can guarantee you right now, when that thing comes out, there's going to be bugs
Oh yeah.
for a while, and people are gonna be pissed because they're like, "Well, I just spent $600 on this thing."
And they'll definitely get cheaper. There's no way they're gonna be. I don't even know how much they
Exactly.
are. Like
So,
400, 500.
$299 and $399.
Really, that cheap?
So
Or
that all right?
cheap?
That's the Xbox. $299, $399. PlayStation is $399 and $499.
Okay.
The $499 one is the one with the disc,
Mm-hmm.
and then the Xbox has two. I couldn't tell you what the models are, Series X or something, and then the $299 one is like not as fast or heavy duty as the $399. Does that make sense? If I do get anything, I'm probably gonna get the cheapest Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
Like, really. So how was it for you going to Eagleville, such a small school? Like, I went to a small school, but it was different. I went to a small school just as small as yours,
Uh-huh.
but it was different. I know it was.
Man, it was definitely like a culture shock, because like
Yeah.
going from, Bradley to Cason Lane to Christiana to
Christiana's a
Eagleville.
huge school. Even though it's a middle school, it's huge.
It was like, man, you hear all these stories about all these redneck schools. Like, we would play those rednecks. We weren't as redneck as you would think.
Yeah.
Like, we definitely had the cows getting loose, the tractors showing up to school. I don't even know. I mean, like, our family, I wouldn't necessarily say that we were like rednecks, but I definitely wasn't surprised by much
Yeah.
at Eagleville. We had people cleaning their, field cleaning their turkeys and dressing, whatever, all that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It definitely the first 3 years. Well, no, I'd say the first year it was just kind of like, I had to take a step back. Like, wow,
Also,
this is high school.
Probably didn't know a lot of people.
I
a lot of
only,
people out there either.
yeah, I only knew like the baseball people.
Yeah.
But I feel like sophomore year, junior, senior year, like those were all fine. Like, it was such a small school that like I knew everybody like by name.
Yeah. And
Like,
yeah.
I graduated with 90 people.
Yeah. My graduating class was 130. Yeah, and I graduated at like 125 out of 130. I was at the very, very, very bottom.
Oh yeah, if I would have gone to graduation that day, I was like 80th, 82nd out of 90.
Well, I think maybe that was alphabetical, but I was talking.
Okay,
I know,
yeah.
I was talking about.
Well, you went to a magnet
my
school. I went
grades.
to.
I was like very bottom.
I was like middle of the pack. Senior year was weird for me.
Mm-hmm.
I took a bunch of. I was like math and sciences. I took like pre-cal and physics, and that was just. It was senior year, so I was just not having it.
Yeah, my senior year was actually the year I made the best grades. Even though
Mine was like freshman year.
Well, my senior year though, you know how I don't know if Eagleville was like this, but I know Riverdale was. It was like, oh, you have 2 periods of office aiding, and that type of stuff.
Mine,
We didn't have that.
It
at
was
Central.
like
we had straight up. We had 1 study hall and 6 classes.
Did y'all do like block schedules? Like
Yeah, we did. We did
We
like
had
2 days a
7.
week, I think.
We always had this at the beginning of the day. It's called VIP. It was just a study hall for like 45 minutes. It was really weird.
That is weird.
And then there was
Seems like a
actual study
waste of
halls.
time.
Yeah, but senior year, I took the baseball coaches classes, and then I would just, I'd either do the homework or just sit there. I literally had them like first period, and then block days I would have them for 3rd and 5th, and then
Yeah.
it would be 5th and 7th would be my pre-cal and physics classes. So it was like
Yeah.
I would want to, chill first before I
Yeah.
lose my mind.
So when you were at like a small school like that, would you basically have the classes with the same people all day every day?
It definitely senior year, because that was like where there was like the least amount of classes you could take, because it was like you've already done everything.
Yeah.
So senior year, there was days where I would take 7 classes, but I had like 4 of them were with the same teacher. Or same teachers.
Wow.
Like my Wednesdays and Fridays, I literally had Coach Holland, then him again, and then math and science with the same teacher. And it was like the first year we ever did physics at my school.
Yeah.
So like somehow we convinced our teacher to go to the Air Force Base in Tullahoma for a field trip. Somehow,
Really?
it was like before fall breaks. We didn't know anything about physics. It was the wildest day.
So, what were for you? I don't even think I know the answer to this, but what was your favorite subjects in school? What were you most fascinated with?
Going into like college, I would say like history definitely was like what influenced me, and
Yeah.
like I loved the most. But I really liked math and
Really?
science.
I hate math.
It was like something that it just would come naturally, and
Cannot do it. Oof, I can't do that at all.
I just like numbers, and because it's so set in stone. Like
Yeah.
history, it's like you can argue everything.
Yeah. So, currently, would you say you're more of a history guy, or are you still in the
I
math?
definitely, because I took one college in high school, one
Math.
math in college.
Me too.
And I didn't take any more. I
chose
didn't
a
even think
ma-
about taking any more.
No, absolutely not. So the reason I asked you, I figured you were gonna say something history-ish. So what are some periods of time, cultures, countries that fascinate you in history, or events, or you know what I'm saying, something like that?
I definitely I took a whole semester over in Ireland and
The EU.
yeah, well it was history of Ireland, and then I took ancient Egypt that same semester. So those I always loved. Like elementary school, we had at Casey Lane, we learned about all the ancient like civil like Mesopotamia,
Yeah,
Egypt,
Sumeria.
So like, and then we were reading Percy Jackson books.
Oh.
So like I was always fascinated by all the
like mythology.
the mythology of stuff. So when I took ancient Egypt in college, I was already like, oh, I already know about this, that. So I was
Yeah.
very fascinated by that. But then learning about Ireland, like I didn't know that it was like it was smaller than Tennessee.
Yeah.
And like square miles.
And they were indentured servants.
I didn't know there was two countries. Like I didn't know there was Northern Ireland and a Republic of Ireland.
Yeah, even and so small still.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. There's a lot of people don't. I think this is also an interesting thing. People don't realize how many countries are in Europe.
Oh yeah.
Like
There's
like Eastern Europe,
36, 42, something like that.
a lot, but like Western Europe is pretty big. It's like Spain, Germany, the Scandinavian countries, Finland.
I think more Southeast Europe is where all this like there's more small countries put together.
Well, yeah. What I was getting to is it's because of the Soviet Union. It's because of World War I and II, and because that all used to be Russia
And the Ottoman Empire.
and Turkey. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Slovakia and Yugoslavia and Czech Republic and all that stuff is Russia, but it's not.
Yeah.
You know.
You could definitely tell by their languages and the roots and all that.
I had what was his name? Sandro. There's a guy named Sandro who came on here with
From the Balkan?
Bosnia.
Bosnia.
Yeah, he spoke Bosnian. He like came in. I was like, "What's up, man?" Sandro. I was like, "What's up, man? I'm Austin. Nice to meet you." He came with Zape.
Yeah.
And then he like took a phone call and was like speaking this language, and I looked at Zip. I was like, "What is he saying?" He was like, "Oh, he's Bosnian." I was like, "What?" And I was like, "Dude, tell me." I was like, "Well, hold on, man." I was like, "I don't want to tell me about this on the podcast." But yeah, Bosnia.
I'm super fascinated with
So
Europe, like as a whole, Asia, just Eastern world.
yeah,
South America, and then I love languages.
yeah.
If I could learn all the languages in the world, I would.
I feel like
More than like an instrument. Like
what did you take in high school?
we only had Spanish.
Spanish. I feel like I have a very small foundation, but I have a foundation of Spanish, and I feel like if I really studied it, I feel like I could be. I feel like Americans could be fluent in Spanish. I feel like low key we kind of need to be. Americans are stupid, bro. We know one language.
Yeah.
Like Canadians.
They got French.
In Eastern Canada, the French part of Canada, Quebec, and all that stuff. They literally will, like, they'll be having this conversation, and then they might switch to French, and then go right back to English.
Like that's how when I was with MTSU's baseball team, it was like there was a couple people who would speak Spanish, and they'd be talking to each other in English. They'd walk in another room, write to Spanish, then they'd talk to you, just flips, switching like that. And I ate with a couple of them like a month back, 2 months back, however long it was, and they'd be talking to me just regular, look at each other, Spanish, just it was
Yeah.
all over the place.
That's crazy. Even Mylina's family, like her mom and her stepdad and like her grandparents and stuff, they'll speak Thai and Laos
Mhm.
to each other and like just code switch
Mhm.
right to English, or like they'll just be talking about like the food or whatever,
Yeah.
and it'll like mid sentence they're like
Mhm.
they'll be like, oh, it tastes da da da, and then like it's like
It's because they can't think of the
Yeah.
what word it is in English.
exactly. They were like, oh, it tastes, or can you grab the whatever, and yeah, but as far as Americans, man, like we're stupid, like we don't like and even Hispanics,
We're
like,
so set in our ways.
we are,
like-
man, like what I mean, English is the universal language, and like I get it, but like 90% of the world, it probably not 90, but a lot of the world speaks two languages at least. Like think about like the Middle East, how many different Arabic languages there are in the
So
Middle
many dialects.
East. I know.
Like even in China, it's not just Mandarin, it's
No, it's Fusanese,
Yeah.
and then they have traditional.
Cantonese.
Yeah,
and-
they have a lot of, and then like it's totally different languages too.
Mhm.
Like it's not like it's a
Yeah.
dialect like British or Australian
Yeah.
accent. Like it's not an accent. Like no, it's a different language. There's this guy on YouTube. I need to send it to you, but there's this guy on YouTube.
Is it Laoshu?
The white dude who speaks Chinese.
Oh no, that's a Xiaoma
The white dude.
in New York.
No, he's like actually in China.
Oh what? No, I've never heard
Hold
of
on.
that guy.
He will he'll just be in China and be like, can I get the noodles, the chicken noodles? And then it'll be like, yeah, and then it'll be like, it'll
Yeah.
rattle. I don't even want to like try to imitate it, but he'll like rattle off
Mhm.
perfect Chinese, and they're like, what?
Yeah.
Hold on, let me white guy speaks Chinese. That's how I found him. This guy, Zia, it might be NYC in New York City.
Yeah, I know that guy. Yeah.
Yeah, this guy, it's
I love that. He's so
31
funny.
million views.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's hilarious. I found him on
He just popped up on my like feed one day.
he was on my explore page
Yeah, that-
on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
He was, and then I saw him on TikTok too. He was posting clips. But like there's like one dialect, it's called Fusanese,
Mhm.
and it's like a really small,
Yeah, it's like
and he speaks it perfectly. And then they were like, "Oh, your Chinese is so good." And then
Mhm.
he was like, "Do you know Fusanese?" And like he
Yeah.
went straight into that, and they were like, "What?"
mhm.
Perfect. And it's not like he was just like speaking broken Chinese. Like no, like it was perfect, like enunciation.
Yeah.
So what was your experience like being around the collegiate baseball program and stuff, like being around like guys who were damn good at baseball, probably the best you've seen, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Like been around it. The team as a whole might not have had a lot of success, but those guys were damn good. All of them were at least decent.
I don't know. I mean, it's just crazy to think like the older I've gotten, it's like these people are my age. Like
Yeah.
I'm like these people are real because we grew up watching MTSU,
Yeah.
like looking up to these. Like Papa would be like, "That's how da 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 da," and we would just look at him. And then it was so weird when I walked in the first day, and I was like, "Wow, these are
You're
real
in-
people. Like these
yeah.
are people."
Yeah.
And like hanging out with them outside of baseball, they're just regular people.
Yeah.
Like you know, you don't. Oh, I'm a baseball player. Like you don't just look at them and that's the only thing they
Yeah.
breathe. But man, it was like because Eagleville was a small school, not a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not saying we were like bad, but we
Y'all
weren't
had
like
some good kids. Yeah.
nothing like
That's-
MTSU.
That's what I was saying. Y'all had high school teams. They'll have 5 at the most who were like, all right, he's damn good.
Mhm.
But mostly, a high school team is lucky to have one player where it's like, oh no, he's cold. College, it's like, oh
Yeah,
they're all. They
like-
were all the best person on their
Mhm.
high
They
school
had-
team.
You like when you're with the people that you're just like, because they're like there's not too many of them that are from like the same area,
Yeah.
except for like
Recruit. Well, there was like the
Mhm.
Drew Huff, and then the Benefield, and the,
the
Carson
Siegel,
Lester.
Riverdale, because they grew up together too.
True.
But like Venezuela, Miami.
That's crazy. So did they
Like-
literally recruit them from?
Well, the
like,
way
how did that happen? How did
Antonini or he was born in Venezuela,
Mm.
and he moved when he was 16 to Miami, like Hollywood, Florida.
Okay.
And he just played there, and then he got recruited by Mags and went to MTSU, from what I understand.
Yeah.
And then Manny, he was from the Dominican. He played. I don't know if he moved to Florida,
What
but
position was he?
he was outfield.
Outfield.
He's like 6'5". That's
Dang,
also a
for
crazy
real?
thing. Everybody who played at MTSU was like
huge.
6'5"
Yeah.
at least. But there's a couple that were like 5'10",
Mhm.
6 foot. But they were, if they weren't
dudes.
6'5", they were big as hell.
And that's crazy because it's like they were a mediocre program. They're not what they used to be.
No, no, no.
But like, I love MTSU, but they're not at the peak of they're not at the top of the conference. But still, that goes to show you how crazy the talent jump is from high school to college. Because like, who was first in Conference USA in baseball? UAB. Who is it?
FAU,
FAU?
Rice sometimes.
Oh, right.
Southern Miss.
Southern Miss and Rice. So it goes to show you how like those guys, they got it together. Like those players, that locker room is filled with potential draft picks. But even though MTSU had mediocre success, they still get people signed and drafted. You know, it's crazy. College sports is if you've made it to Division I in college baseball, you have a very good chance of at least getting a chance in Single A. You know, because there's so many teams in baseball. Like the farm system.
Oh yeah.
First of all, every team has what is a normal pro roster? 30 players, something like that. 30, 35,
32 maybe.
So let's say
like
30. Let's just say 30 for good measure. So let's just say a baseball team has 30 players. The Braves have low A, high A, double A, triple A, and the majors.
There's rookie ball too. I didn't even know that. I didn't even know half of these things.
Let's just say 6 teams, 30 players on each of those teams. All right, I'm bad at math. A couple hundred in your program, in your farm
single
system. So, and they're constantly signing people, and I mean the draft is like 30 rounds or something like that. So like, yeah, if you go and you play at MTSU for all 4 years and you started for all 4 years, your chances of at least getting seen by some scout is very
there's
high.
always, I found this out, there's always at least one day a year, it's called Scout Day, where scouts from every league, as many teams that want to show up will show up, and you just play. You run your 40 or 60, I think.
Yeah.
I think
baseball is usually 60.
You throw, pitch. But the way we did it is they would do their running, and then they would do like a scrimmage against each other. Like each pitcher would pitch 1 inning, and everybody would get like, it would be like people, draft eligible people who would do the running.
Really?
And they would just do like a game against each other.
That's cool. And it's probably also kind of weird for you being in the middle of that coaching change too. That was such a legacy shift.
Oh yeah.
Mags was there 20 years.
30 years.
30? Like,
and just going like that.
I mean, like I said, he was having mediocre success. So what can you do? I mean, do you want to just is Massaro as a athletic director just going to be like, you know what, Mags, we know you've been here and we know you're one of Pete's.
I think the way from what I heard was they wanted to get rid of him as a coach, but they wanted to keep him on in like the athletic department.
And he wasn't going.
not gonna do that.
Yeah.
But
what's he doing now?
He works at Hit After Hit in Nashville. So that's different.
I mean, it's different.
It's baseball.
Just because I remember Coach McGuire as Coach McGuire.
Yeah.
The assistant going to the baseball camps. Literally, like, he's a smart guy. He knows baseball.
Oh yeah.
He knows the sport. But was he a good head coach? Not really. I mean, that's crazy. What do you think about the new guy, Toman?
I love him as a person. I mean,
Yeah, and
I wouldn't say I necessarily like disagree with the way he coaches, but like I'm not a fan of the way he coaches. He's a great dude, very personable person.
All right, what would you say would you say he's offense or defensive minded? pitching and defense, or,
He's
or
a
hitting?
he played at NC State and he was a catcher.
Okay, so he's probably more pitching.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we have their pitching coach, phenomenal.
Yeah.
He's just he was like a magician. Like he would just like fix this one thing, pitchers would be
Yeah,
right,
like,
back to normal. Like
your
all that.
elbow, man. I promise you, just get your elbow down.
Yeah, I remember hearing someone say something about like he's like your thumb isn't doing this, and then they were just like, oh, that's crazy.
That is crazy.
But like,
I just have such a love for MTSU sports. Like it's really undescribable.
Oh yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like
I remember going to games growing up and like crying when they would lose.
yeah,
like,
but like yes, but
being
like
so invested. In them.
those are like the reason why I hang on to the program as a whole, like the whole athletics, is just because it's like my first memories.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? It's like literally like the first thing, like whenever someone's like, think about your earliest memory. I literally
sitting on the side, like at a football game.
yes, sitting
on the side.
literally yes, and like, oh yes, being
My furthest back memory, I don't know why this stuck with me, but it was in preschool. Miss House, my preschool teacher, wrote on the board October 23rd, 2003,
wow.
in like a green marker, and I don't know why. I just remember like sitting there and I was like, I really focused on it.
I can kind of remember. I remember 9/11.
I
do.
2 maybe.
I was 5. I remember 9/11.
I just remember hearing about it.
No,
like your side, like stories all the time growing up.
I remember it. I was in kindergarten. I literally remember
Sitting there and watching
it on the TV and seeing like this building on fire, and then I remember like the second building or the second plane hit, and then I remember seeing mom, because like mom and grandma were both kindergarten teachers, and mom was like the classroom right next to us, and I remember like she came in and was like talking to my teacher and shit. But yeah, that is probably my first memory that I can remember.
like solid, like this is what happened.
I was 5. You know what I'm saying? But I'm sure there's some memories where I was like 2 maybe, but like I don't fucking know. So what are some things that you're into now? What are some things that interest you outside of sports and like, school? Like, cause I know that's definitely work and school is definitely taking up a lot of your time, and I know you're passionate about sports and like wanting to be a teacher and a coach and like being like a good leader for kids, but like what are some things that you're into kind of now?
I mean,
like movies or like that type of stuff. Are you really, I know you've never really been a big TV watcher.
I mean, I guess I would. I mean, I'm not gonna say like video games because it's like,
Yeah,
it's just not like something I'm like, all super focused on.
Like you want to be the best.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, I'll just play them, but like, I remember there for a time it was like sophomore, junior year of college. It was like, I remember I would go home and I'd like work on like I used to have these folder or notebooks where I would try to teach myself like a new language. Like it would be like alphabets of languages, and I would just write them down. So I was really into that for a while.
like what language? Like what characters?
It would be like Afrikaans, and that's like South Africa. It's South Africa. It's like a Dutch language. And then
so that's just South Africa?
mhm.
Huh. I thought but don't they have like a Australian accent
Yeah,
type
so
shit? But they have their own language?
Mhm.
I didn't know that. I thought
it's got English in it, but it's because Africa
has
it
been conquered and dominated.
It was colonized,
for a while.
especially in the South. It was colonized by like Dutch traders and stuff because they would use it to get to India and all that area.
Yeah.
And they stayed there, and then they just developed, like, it was Dutch, but it's slowly turned into its own language, and it's Afrikaans, and it's just like you can definitely look at the structure of the sentences and the words and see like, oh, this is where this came from in this language and all that.
That's interesting.
But yeah, I tried teaching myself German for a while, but those words were so long.
German is the closest language to English. It's like this conversation we're having right now, like the rhythm, like it's the same. Like if
sentence structure too.
Like if Mylena was in there speaking German and through the wall, you know how like whenever you can hear somebody talking through the wall, it would sound the same. Does that make sense? What I'm saying? like if Mylena was on the phone talking German and like we heard like like that
Yeah.
the like muffled sound, it would sound the same as English. But like if it was Spanish, you know, they'd be
Yeah.
talking like really really fast and stuff. Like I mean,
I remember
know.
you saying like it was harder for us. I just remember, I don't know, you were in high school, but you were talking like it's so hard for us to learn, especially in Tennessee, learn Spanish because we're so
We talk
slow.
Yeah.
We don't even speak good English.
No,
you know,
we
making
don't.
up all those words. But yeah.
We have poor grammar
Oh yeah, for
for
sure.
the most part.
Y'all ain't
Yeah.
weren't or no? That's a word. I just feel like that's a weird word. Weren't.
So languages. So
Oh, I love to read too. I have a whole
you
bunch
still
of
read?
books. Mm.
I
Like I have this. I got it for a class, but it's called Killing Rage. I got it for the Ireland class, and it's just about the IRA and stuff. I like learning. I guess that's what I'm really into. I just love to learn.
That's
Just anything.
That's really good, Kobe. Keep don't let that die. Like also this is like another topic. This is like a big thing with people our age is like we are fucking addicted to our phones. Bad. Like really bad. We spend 4 hours a day looking at our phones and like guys, we need to like do something else. We need to read more. We really do. Whether it be a novel like Lemony Snicket or whatever, but like also like the little history books and stuff are like guys, we need to like do something. You need to exercise your mind instead of just constantly mind numbing yourself. Cuz like think about how hard it is to or how easy it is to watch a 2-hour movie. I mean, I know you're kind of different, but like
I love movies. I love watching movies.
I know,
Those are
but like
different
think
than,
about
like, shows.
how easy it is to put a Star Wars movie or a Harry Potter movie on, and there's 2 hours.
Mhm.
You know, and then also playing video games, 2 hours. You can burn 2 hours up like nothing. You know, like guys, we need to give, and I'm definitely a hypocrite in saying this. Is what I'm saying is I'm becoming more aware of it.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? I'm being more conscious of like, damn, like I'm really just.
We need a little more substance in our
do.
lives instead of just like phones and videos
and TVs. Even so, what kind of so you've been more into like the history-ish?
I have.
What would you call those? History books? I don't know.
I mean,
historical nonfiction.
I mean, there's one. It's called I got Killing Rage. That's about the IRA in Ireland.
Is this a fiction?
No, this is like a first-hand account, like what he did.
I see.
And then there's how Churchill saved the war or something like that. And I don't know if that's. I feel like that's more of a. I'm not sure if it's a fiction book or historical fiction.
That man is hated just as much as he is loved.
I feel like everybody is.
He was really significant, but he was also a huge dick. So,
well, then you think like you could say that about the what is it called? The founding fathers.
That's weird that you say that because I was gonna say that my kind of because the question I asked you earlier about what kind of period in time, what kind of period in history are you fascinated with, dude? I want to know about the founding fathers more. Like I want to find out good books or something like good documentaries because like, dude, how? You know,
I saw something.
How did they do that?
It made me think. It was like, it's like they were basically a terrorist organization because they would anybody who was a loyalist to the British cause, they would literally tar and feather them. Just for not thinking the way they do, like, but that's like how they stood up to their oppressors and stuff, and that was like crazy. Like, like if we did that nowadays, that would be.
It would not fly.
Oh yeah.
This you're gonna think this is hilarious, but I made Mylena watch National Treasure 1 and 2.
Oh, I love those movies,
bro. Sparked my like, dude. People hate those movies, bro. But
I think it's just Nicolas Cage.
I know, but I swear that is the only movie where I was like, no, he needs to act like this and that. Because you know how he is.
Just same thing. Every movie he's in is just
come with me.
Like Con Air. He's just like, put the bonnet down. Like,
Have Have you seen Joe
No.
with him in it?
I've like seen like
Oh my
trailer for it, but I've never seen it. I saw Hell Rider.
Do you have Netflix in your
Mhm.
room? I think it's on Netflix. You and Kelsey watch Joe.
Joe.
I've seen it twice. His acting is so corny, but like, he's not the main character. He's like, the main character is this kid, and then Nicolas Cage is the kid's
Mhm.
boss.
Have you seen Uncut Gems with not Jim Carrey.
Adam Sandler.
Adam Sandler.
Yes.
Like it's his like attempt at not a comedy movie.
Yeah.
It was just so. I mean, it wasn't like I thought it wasn't a bad movie.
I thought it was
It
good.
was just weird seeing Adam Sandler be serious.
The ending was really shit. Well, also, so Adam Sandler does have some rom-coms. He does, but they're comedies still. But like 50 First Dates,
Mhm.
have you ever seen that or heard about that?
Was it Wedding Singer, a romantic comedy
That too.
I've never really watched
50
that one.
First Dates it's
I watched that with Grandma and Papa.
50 First Dates?
Yes.
It's really goofy, but it has its like serious moments because like, you know, the girl has amnesia and like he's trying to like be sweet to her and stuff and like Uncut Gems was good, but like, dude, that ending was
Trash.
like
I
what?
feel like I just hate movies that you go through all this time of, you know, you're learning the character and then you just get rid of them like that.
I mean, I kind of get it. I mean, it's a movie, but like, have you seen Dexter?
Mm-mm.
We finished Dexter.
I know what it is. I just never watched it.
We finished it a couple weeks ago actually for the first time, and they just announced that they're coming out with a new episode. Dude, I'm not gonna spoil anything, but the ending, awful. And they had like 8 seasons, like 8 years.
Didn't like Seinfeld? Didn't it end awful too? Like they were just all in jail, like Seinfeld
I don't even
or
know,
whatever.
man. I don't even know.
And then
I have some Seinfeld DVDs actually. I have season 1 and 2, and then like 6 and 7. Randomly.
and then thinking about these weird endings, it's like Quentin Tarantino movies, like Pulp Fiction, like the way he switches his times and stuff.
Yeah. Did you see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
Oh yeah, I liked that movie. It
I
was
did
really
too.
like I was like the way
I
he
was
ended
into
it. I was not expecting that.
I was into it all the way.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've seen all of his movies, if I'm not mistaken, but Magnificent
That was pretty good.
Seven. I haven't seen that one, but I saw
Once Upon a Time.
Once Upon a Time, Kill Bill 1 and 2. Have you seen those?
Yes,
Those are amazing. Honestly.
I remember seeing them. Cool Springs, the mall or whatever, when they were on like posters in the mall.
And then dang, what is Reservoir Dogs is another
I
one.
haven't seen that one.
That one is
Inglourious Bastards.
Glorious Bastards.
When I first saw that, I was like, yeah, I like that one.
I mess with that one because it's like, and that's also what he does too, is he'll make like movies that are loosely based on reality, historical.
Like when for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, when he was Charles Manson stuff, I
It
was like, I knew about that,
it
and then
was
when it was
loosely-
getting to the end, I was like, oh my god, what the heck? This dude's
Yeah.
about to die,
Yeah.
and then it just switches it up, and I'm like, what?
So besides that IRA, the Irish book, what's another like historical book that you've read?
The Churchill one.
Churchill.
It was
one.
like, and then I've read like it was about the German Enigma machine or something like that. I forgot what it was called, but they made it a movie and it has Benedict Cumberbatch in it. I'll have to like go back and look at the name, but I like
What
watched for a
exactly? Like,
it was. So it was during World War II, and the Germans they had this machine that would like switch codes and like rearrange their words, and they would send it, and the British people could not decipher it before the code would switch. So the Benedict Cumberbatch character, I forgot his name, but he's like an important and historical character in British history, and at the end of the movie, anyways, they decipher it, but like they found out because they just found out how they were getting like the messages, like they were able to capture them and all that, but they just couldn't decipher it. But so one of the people who was sending the messages would always like title like something at the very end, and they were able to like put this into the machine, and then they were able to find the code out and then
Wow.
find out how they used their code, how it worked, and all that.
That's crazy. That was in the 40s.
And then
Too.
Benedict Cumberbatch character, he was a gay man, but they like tried it tells you after the movie that they tried putting him in like a gay conversion like therapy.
Yeah, like the shock thing.
And then he ended up like the historical person. He like ended up killing himself.
My God. But he really was instrumental in saving the
Yeah.
world, essentially. Man, the Nazis.
We're on meth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were on meth. But, like, dude, it's crazy that to this day, man. Also, this is another thing, too, because I listened to this Joe Rogan podcast where they talked about Hitler, and basically what this guy was saying is, like, Hitler was actually worse than we think he was.
Really?
What he was trying to do was, like,
Wasn't it start like a new race, eliminate another?
Yeah, like, so what he did was awful. He killed millions of people. Millions. Just from the Holocaust. Then also started World War II. So, millions from the Holocaust, millions from a world
Some
war.
people, like when I was taking this history class, it was like World War II was just basically a continuation from World War One.
It was.
And then it's hard to like put, like you could put pinpoints on where things started, but like you don't really know where it, this is what started it,
Yeah.
but you can always look at events that were like, oh, this is what led to it.
Yeah. Well, like World War One, Russia was like the aggressor in World War One, and the British was trying to be Superman,
Mhm.
and then the U.S. was like, shit.
They didn't want to get involved.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They
It
were
was
like,
all,
shit. And then after World War One, they were like, we're not ever doing that again. And then and then Pearl Harbor happened, and then they were like, we were just chilling over
Yeah.
here, guys. And who was president during World War II?
Roosevelt.
So he was the one
FDR.
who did the bombs.
I think
Was he the one who?
he started the war. I don't know if he I can't
Or
remember.
was it Eisenhower?
I
who-
haven't taken a history class in 2 years.
I still think that 2 nukes, man. Can you imagine?
Aren't they like uninhabitable now? Like those
I
places
mean,
still?
I can only imagine. I mean, it killed 500,000 people.
That's
civilians.
just people. Just like they weren't
Civilians.
nothing. They were not even soldiers. Just
Like, can you imagine though if literally though, and that's kind of why we're in the war in the Middle East, is because of the threat of nuclear weapons, and can you imagine anywhere in the world if any country dropped a bomb in any other country, what that would do? Like, that is insane, and the fact that happened in the 40s, like how
and it's only like
That was
weapons
80
have only gotten
crazy.
scarier.
and that's kind of the modern situation we're in right now. Is it's kind of like we're always kind of looking over, like the U.S. is like, we got the technology for this, and then Russia's like, we do too, and then China's like, we can if we want to, and then North Korea's like, we got it too,
Yeah.
and then like Iran's like, oh well, I mean, we've got the uranium, we generate it too. So it's kind of, everyone's just kind of like waiting for someone to like mess up so bad.
Yeah.
For some, like, man, it's just crazy that and I could totally be wrong when I say this, but we really have never not been in war.
Mm-hmm.
We had the Revolutionary War.
The Civil War, like
Well,
1812.
even before that, yeah. We were fighting with the Spanish right after the Revolutionary War. We were fighting with the Indians. We had Indian wars because we came over as the Pilgrims,
Said we weren't going to take the land.
Pissed 'em
took the
off.
land.
took their land, killed them, and then got our independence. And then they were like, no, like, give us that shit back. And then fought them again.
We signed so many treaties, and then we would
Yeah.
break them.
Yeah. I mean, the stuff with the Native Americans is disgusting, man. I mean, but also, man, what can 2020 Kobe and Austin Timberlake and 2020 people in 2020 do? What can we do? Because personally, I was not an English settler in 1692, you know?
I just think the way is just to understand the history
Yeah.
to better the future.
Yeah.
Like, I was just thinking about that the other day. I was just
Mhm.
like, I can't, like, myself, I can't go change anything.
Yeah.
I can only understand it.
Yeah. I know. And I don't know, especially the Native American thing. That's one thing.
Deep in our bloodline, we have, it's like full, half full, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, that's one thing as Americans that we kind of just, we're like,
That happened.
and then we just kind of like move on. But like, what else can you do? I mean, I guess you do just move on, but like, yeah. And I mean, but yeah, what I was saying about war, man, we've been in war. 1800s, we fought each other. We fought each other.
Yeah.
Civil War. And then the 1900s happened. And then World War One, II. We fought Vietnam. And then now you get to the 80s and 90s is whenever all this stuff in the Middle East happened. And here we are 20 years later. And we're still fighting in the Middle East. It's crazy, man. But yeah, history was always something I've been interested into. I do want to get into I just want to know more about the founding fathers. Like,
there's so much to know about them because I mean, it's not like there was so much, but they were so like pivotal and like they started the country, so there's so much about them like that we like found out. Like we were like, oh, we need to know more about these people, so we found out about them.
What kind of like old founding father stands out to you the most?
I'm not gonna say Hamilton because, like, I mean, you know, the whole what was it, the play, the musical? I don't know. I liked
Is that about him?
Hamilton. Did you not know that? It was literally about Alexander Hamilton because he was
I did
treasurer.
not know that.
I didn't want. I hate watching musicals.
I did not know that was about a former U.S. president.
No, he wasn't. He was like the secretary or treasurer.
Okay, I did not know that.
He was the first one to get us out of debt. Like,
wow.
Yeah.
So what founding father comes to mind to you? You were like, oh, I mean, obviously, I know you're not a historical expert, but like,
I liked learning about George Washington before he was
president.
Before he was like a
war
general.
yeah.
Like before that, because he used to just be he would like the map. I forgot what they're called, but the map person or something like that.
Cartographer.
Something like that.
Yeah.
He like knew like the area, and then like the general died, so he just, oh, you're the general now,
Like,
or like
okay.
the captain, something like that. So that was all like,
George Washington, man, he's such a significant person in history. Like, he's one of the most famous people ever. You think of like Gandhi and Mother Teresa, Genghis Khan. You know what I'm saying? Well, you know what I'm saying? Like George Washington, the United States of America's first president. And yeah, I wonder, like, that's also interesting. It sounds so obvious to say whenever, like, if I ask someone that and they're like, oh, George Washington, it's kind of like, well, duh. But like, no, if you really kind of think about it, kind of deeper, it's like, no, like, really, like, I want to know more about George Washington. Like, that's an interesting guy. Like, how could this man have like the influence over so many people and they just rallied behind him? Like one guy.
It's like it's hard to get something like that nowadays.
In any,
it's so divided everywhere, every aspect.
It always has been. For me, I know Thomas Jefferson was a piece of shit, but like for me, Thomas Jefferson, he did a lot, man. He was a businessman. He was like if I'm not mistaken, he was like an author. He wrote a lot of books and stuff too. Who else? I don't know why it's slipping my mind exactly what he did, but when I was in school, James Madison was one of my favorite presidents.
Was he like the fourth president?
Don't know why. He was like a really quiet guy, if I'm not mistaken, and he was like an author too. And he was really just level-headed.
Like Mm,
Yeah, that makes sense.
all presidents, or yeah, all early presidents, they were all like businessmen,
Yeah.
men, or generals, or founding fathers.
Mm. And Benjamin Franklin, he's like one of the first people that even comes to mind
Mm,
when I hear founding father. I just think of Ben Frank.
just electricity.
Yeah.
Like,
Wow. Shit. Kobe, is there anything that you would like to say to me? Is there any questions you have for me?
not that I can think of right now.
Let me ask you this. From the point of view of my brother, how does it make you feel seeing me do this and like other creative things? You know, give me your point of view, because not a whole lot of people know me from the inside. You know what I'm saying?
I definitely love it because it definitely allows you to express who you are, and you're showing the world who you are. You're not just showing me, Austin, or me, Haley, Mom, what you want to do. It's like you're showing everybody. You're trying to like the way like the group message thing you were talking about. The fact that you're getting Murfreesboro like artists, showing their stuff.
Yeah.
You're trying to better other people. It's just like what we grew up on, and you're like proving to like Mom, Papa, Grandma, like that they're what they wanted us to do. It's like it's happening. Like they wanted us to be better people and better other people.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is a way for you that you're doing it, is you're bettering other people by doing this podcast, having people over, doing music with them, just getting other people's stuff out, like stuff like that. I like that.
How do you feel like? I also did the first podcast I did with Mylena, I kind of asked her this too. Like, I was like, all right, let me interview you about me. What is it? How does it make you feel? Like, does it surprise you that I do so much? Because I'm pretty, like, for the people out there, like, I'm pretty introverted.
I mean, when I first, I'd say when you first started doing the whole music thing, I was like, what the heck?
Yeah.
Because I was like, you never, like, I remember being around you and you'd be like, you'd just be messing around with your friends, doing like freestyles and stuff like that. But like, I was just like, you're putting yourself out there. And I just, growing up, it's like, oh, he would have never done something like that. But like the older you got, and I feel like going from Riverdale to Central really, because you started meeting other people and different lifestyles, you're really like, I feel like that helps you develop and become a more personable person. Because you're definitely like, I feel like it's in our family. We're really good at like, you meet people, you can talk to them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a much better conversationalist now, but like, I want you to just say some words just about that, because like there's a small group, but there's a group of people on the internet who I've never met in person, maybe we'll never meet in person, from like out of state and stuff, who have seen the podcast, and like we have a Instagram DM open line, and then they see me on this camera and they're like, oh, like this guy, he can just talk and talk, but like when it comes down to it,
I feel like there's not there's no switch from the podcast to real life. I feel like this is you. It's like you're not a different person behind the camera than what you are when we're at a family get together picnic thing.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely I don't know what it is about me wanting to do creative things, but specifically the music thing, because I don't have a music background in my family.
Hey, Justin Timberlake.
Well, possibly, yeah. It could just be in my genes, but like, yeah, even just creativity stuff, and just.
I heard you talking about it in the other last podcast about how Tennessee is like a music state.
It really is. Nashville is country music capital of the world. Memphis is where blues was created. Like, Tennessee is one of the most musical areas ever in the whole world. So definitely the music thing, but like as far as like creativity and stuff, and just and you do too, but I have this drive, when like I just.
It definitely, you can from your like what we talked about at the beginning about how like the athletic part of you, like the wanting to be better thing comes out.
Or at least just get it accomplished. Be accomplished. Be successful.
You don't want to be still. You want to be active with your work.
So, yeah, Kobe. I just want to say, thank you for literally always supporting me, always, in everything I've done. You motivate me. I love you. You've got a really bright future ahead of you. You do, Kobe. You're going to be successful one day. You're going to be more successful than anybody. You have a great heart. Shoot. I'm always here. I appreciate you being a fan of the podcast because, like, yes, this is something and I'm glad you could come be a part of it finally. But, I do a ton of different things, you know. I do a lot. I
feel like you're only expanding too.
Absolutely. Like what I was going to say though is my YouTube channel. I do a lot on just the YouTube channel. I'm using that as just like an open line of just creativity. Right, let's just try it, like whatever. Like I've got 27 vlogs now. This is episode 71 of the podcast. Just all kinds of stuff. And then outside of the YouTube music, I've done music videos for Austin, and then that just anything. And like also you don't have to do something like that to feel or be successful too. Does that make sense?
But I feel like you can only be as successful as you want to be.
Yeah,
it's like if you want to graduate college and you call that your success, like I feel like it's not a monetary thing.
No, it's not, whatever you feel deep in your heart is right, then you're doing the right thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to. I don't know. I don't want to be famous at all. Like, I don't care. I don't even want to be a billionaire. You know? Like, I went on a little rant about this on one of my podcasts. Like, seriously, you can have whatever you wanted if you made $100,000 a year. Like, to get really into like semantics, like if you made 6 figures a year, you will have everything you need. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. People get so caught up in Logan Paul buys a new Bugatti and like Lil Wayne has diamond teeth. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. People get so caught up and wrapped up in that, and it's like, wait, hold on, man. You can have you can have everything you need plus excess for way less money. You know? And like, money is not necessarily happiness, but I mean, there is certain goals you want to have with some kind of money, but obviously don't be obsessed with it. Money is the root of all evil. It's cliche for a reason, you know? But yes, Kobe, I want to say I appreciate you for coming over. Episode 71. Please go follow my brother or don't, whatever. I'm glad I could have you on here. Bring a friend over one day.
All right. I've been talking to him. I've been telling people, other people, my friends, come on with me. Yeah. Go on your own.
Yeah. Well, maybe if we have your face on here on the internet, maybe they'll be like, oh, okay, this is what it is. Kobe did it. So Kobe did it once. So, but yeah, seriously, anybody who you would feel comfortable having in my home, please, by any means. I can have me, you, and 2 other people max. I can have 4 total people in here. So I mean, yeah, one day, if you're like, hey, can me and so and so come over?
All right,
for sure. Because like, I just like kind of a thought I had was having like some of the former athletes on here. I think that'd be really dope.
I could definitely talk to them about it. Yeah. They're in town. I can see what they want to do.
Like, or even just your Eagleville guys.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, even those guys. Because, like, the podcast I want it to be general and broad.
Yeah.
And I don't want 75% of it is rappers.
That's when you first told me to come on, I was like, You're not a rapper. I'm not an artist. Yeah. I'm not a rapper. I'm not a photographer. And I'm just me.
I know. And that's kind of what I want it to be. But I want it to be really broad and general. Like, say me, you, and Micah or your friend or something comes on. and we just talk about Titans football for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm
Uh-huh.
saying? Like, I want it to be broad and general and just, yeah. But episode 71, thank you guys for watching. Thank you, Kobe. I love you. This is my little brother. First time I had a family member on here. It's a beautiful thing. Please show some love to episode 71.